what happens. We have some population in the spring. This is when we do our counts in the spring. Southern states usually do what they refer to as a fall covey count. They like to know how many quail coveys are out there in the landscape available for hunting. Traditionally, we've done things a little bit differently. We focused on the spring breeding population, and so historically our counts and our indices are centered around the spring population rather than a fall population. All right? But as things go, we have spring reproduction. So you start out in the spring with some number of quail with good quality habitat. Quail can really respond. You can have numbers shoot up very quickly in a couple of years. And so historically, when you had good habitat, you could have these blizzard events. We had blizzards before 77 and 78. Populations of quail recovered. Habitat was there, give them a few years, and numbers shoot right back up. So you would have spring reproduction, result in a fall population that's bigger than what you had in the spring. And then over the winter, you're going to have some natural mortality. Some of those birds are going to die. You have, by fall, because of spring reproduction, more birds available than can be sustained by the available habitat in the winter. You're going to have some die. And that's what we rely on from a sporting standpoint. Okay, those birds are going to die, they're going to die anyway, then they should be available for hunting, and they have been available for hunting. So that's, hunting compensates for what was going to die anyway. Okay, so the number of birds in the fall gets reduced back to some lower number available in the spring. So now that we can come up with some better methods of counting, not just an index, start looking critically about how many birds we actually do have in the landscape, and put that in the context of how many birds do you have to have in that landscape to be able to withstand that hunting. And so there's been some research done in the last 2 decades really. Based on our surveys, our average density is 0.014 quail per acre. And I've expressed that per 10,000 acres because that's a really small decimal, okay? So we look at it this way, we have about 140 quail per 10,000 acres where we have quail in southern Ohio. Some of the research that's been done, and granted it's through a modeling effort, but using data about demographics from northern states where their populations of quail are susceptible to winter mortality, the estimates are that you really need, by fall, a few thousand quail per 10,000 acres to be able to withstand hunting and not run a risk of extinction at some point in the future. Okay? Now, yeah, this is a spring measure, this is a fall measure, we have reproduction. Question is, can our quail get us to 2,000? Well, spring reproduction might not be what you want it to be, especially where you have agricultural systems that don't provide a lot of nesting cover. There's not a lot of grass and herbaceous cover, good quality wildflowers, provide nesting and brood rearing habitat. And at the same time, you might have greater mortality in a population over winter because, again, you don't have that good shrubby cover, you don't have the good quality woody cover to get those quail through from the fall to the next spring. So instead of having a larger healthy population going into winter and going into their fall hunting season, we might have less quail than we hope for. So let's kind of break it down, best case scenario. Usually, let's say we're starting out with our 140 quail, 1-to-1 sex ratio, which is for quail fairly reasonable. One female for every male, so about half the population is female. If you have all of those attempting nests, you would have 70 nests. 70 is half of 140. If you assume the clutch size average of about 12 eggs, every nest put out there by every female hatched, all those chicks survive, all the adults survive from spring to fall, would have about 1,000 birds going into the fall. So probably about half what we need in the perfect world in terms of that spring, summer reproduction, about half of what we would need to be able to withstand harvest based on some of the research that's been done in the last 20 years. Okay. Quail can have tremendous reproductive capacity. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them. If you think back to my first slide that showed all those patchy black splotches of grassland habitat in a woody forest that was Ohio in the 1700s, we wouldn't have ever had quail there if they didn't have that quick reproductive effort. Okay, but that can only happen if we have good quality habitat, and we're not seeing these quick recoveries throughout our quail range. We're not seeing the good quality habitat that would facilitate that type of recovery where we do have quail. So throughout their life cycle, we need to focus on nesting habitat management. We need to focus on winter habitat management. We need to be able to boost reproduction and survival to the fall, and make sure that these birds that are here in the fall can survive through the winter to reproduce next spring. This is where population increases take place. This is where population recovery takes place. What we become concerned about now that we're at these very low levels is our harvest management. Does quail hunting remove birds that would likely reproduce the following spring? And that's the big question. Okay? And so, unfortunately, we have to look at that and think about that critically. Habitat management on private lands. Where is that nesting cover coming from? Joseph talked about CRP in the context of what's going on statewide and in the context of management for pheasants. Here's some of the programs, the conservation practices available through CRP here in Ohio. CP33 quail buffers. This has been available for about 15 years here in Ohio. We started out with 14,000 acres available to us. We asked for more acres, we got more. So our current allocation for Ohio is almost 23,000 acres. In that 15 years, we've enrolled about 10,000 acres, which means that there's over 12,000 acres of buffer habitat still available. So what is this buffer habitat? These are not whole fields, these are strips. They're anywhere from 30 to 60 feet wide. They're a mix of wildflowers and grasses. And the idea is to put good quality nesting cover out there. It doesn't take much to put in 2 acres, 30 feet wide. It's not a lot of acreage. And so there is a lot of miles of good quality nesting cover that can be put on the ground with these 12,000 acres. But again, this program's been available for 15 years and we still have an excess available. The SAFE program, we established one around Paint Creek Wildlife Area, and we have some others. Southern Ohio Grassland was a cooperative effort with the Nature Conservancy and native grasslands that they have down there in southern Adams County. Both of these, we had between 1,000 and 2,000 acres available. We've had some sign up. We still have about 1,300 acres available. These are areas with quail. Quail Safe is a new program, just rolled out last year. 15,000 acres available. We have had a little bit of sign up. We have over 14,000 acres available. Part of the reason that we still have this much available is still a new program, and up until recently, we've had to deal with these national CRP caps. Even though we have 14,000 acres available, we were at the national cap, and so USDA was not allowing new CRP acres to be enrolled in any program. Okay, but bottom line, we have 28,000 acres of CRP habitat available for quail, where quail are in southern Ohio. Public lands. We've gone through efforts to improve quail habitat, both nesting habitat as well as winter brushy cover, to try to get quail reproducing more and surviving better all through the year. Grassland management, forest management, gone through trying to remove woody invasives. How many of you guys have heard of bush honeysuckle? Okay, you get bush honeysuckle coming up on your edges of your woodlots and along your fence rows. It kills all the vegetation underneath as natural herbicide properties, releases toxins to the roots, it kills herbaceous cover around it. So we're going through honeysuckle removal. We're thinning trees along edges to try to get more sunlight on the ground, try to improve the herbaceous cover and early successional woody cover for these different species. And that's taking place at multiple wildlife areas in southern Ohio where we have quail populations using those wildlife areas. New approach in the last few years, following lead of the National Bobwhite Conservation Initiative. It's a national effort. It's a consortium basically of the state wildlife agencies within the quail range, as well as university research partners like Dr. Gates at OSU, to look at how we can concentrate habitat within an area. I think there are 16 states out of 25 in the quail range that have some form of a focus area. The Fallsville Quail Heritage Area is our first one. It's been in place for about 4 years now. And we're looking at how we can improve habitat conditions for quail to boost or even stabilize quail numbers in those areas. So just north of Highland County, or just north of Hillsborough in Highland County, this is the Fallsville Wildlife Area, Fallsville South Wildlife Area. For your